at the time that Adam kept staring at me, I did notice that he holds his eyes open wider now. Like, we would kind of always joke that he had these little squinty eyes. I guess I never realized he must have been squinting to focus better, and I never knew that that's why I was doing it or anything. And now he actually has like normal person eyes.
Definitely. Lori gets uncomfortable when I stare at her, but I do. So I enjoy sitting across the table from Lori.
Before you could hardly see the color of his eye, and now you can see almost his whole eye. Which again won't mean anything to anybody else but me.
I noticed even, just at dinner when I'm sitting across from Lori that I can actually see her face, and see where her eyes are and stuff like that. It's still kind of processing that is something amazing. I mean, yeah, for 32 years I've lived without that.
My name is Lori Kitchen, and I'm here with my husband Adam Kitchen, and we're from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Right now I'm in Qingdao, China. I'm receiving stem cells for optic nerve atrophy, which is a condition that I was born with. Definitely a lot of people, it's just either you're blind or you're not blind. I mean, the fact that I wear my glasses, I think, throws a ton of people. In fact, when I was taking courses in college and stuff, and when I go through airports, I actually take them off just so as not to confuse the professors or whatever, because they just think, why would a blind person wear glasses? Whereas, in my case, my glasses actually bring me, before coming to China, they bring me back to being blind. My glasses bring me back to, the 2200, 2400 range. So, they kind of see either you're blind and you can't see, or you can see. If you took your glasses and you put Vaseline on them, is basically kind of what the way that I would see it. So it's, you can kind of see things that are there, there's just no clarity or no definition to it.
Adam is classified as legally blind, which everybody says when they see him, they don't believe that he's blind. Where we do notice it is when he puts something down, walks away, comes back, doesn't know where he put it. Television has been a big thing. He used to sit right in front of the television. And then with our kids, now that our kids are getting older, our oldest daughter sings in concerts, and she's on the cross country and the track team. Our other ones have, done little sports and things, and he can never tell which one is which. He always asks me which one is which. And our daughter was in a musical actually right before we got here, and he was trying to video record her, and I have to tell him where to turn the camera to make sure that he gets her in the shot. So not things that everybody would notice, but things that, of course, he would notice.
Being a father kind of prompted me more so to want to be able to see better, to be part of the children's lives. I mean, I think if I didn't have kids, I'm not sure that I'd be, doing this, because, you can kind of go along and be fine. But, I think the desire to watch the children and to see my kids play sports and to sing in choir and stuff like that, I think that really prompted me to want to be able to see them and take them out and do things like that. In the States, there's nothing that can be done except for, the magnifiers and the glasses and stuff like that. That, when I say glasses, like with the telescopes and stuff, I mean, they, accommodate the optic nerve atrophy, but there's really nothing else to do for it.
We saw Macy's story. We talked with Shell personally. Adam, like I said, he did his research. He did research on different companies. He did researches on everything that he could think of. Once he was fine with it, I was fine with it. I just wanted to make sure that he was doing it for him. He wasn't doing it for me. I felt good the whole time. I never really felt like. There was one point where Adam, we were sleeping, and he just sat bolt upright in bed in the middle of the night, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, this is a scam." And he next day got on the computer, checked all this stuff out, backtracked Macy's story, found out that there actually was a news story that Baker didn't scam the news story, and I mean re-researched things, back-checking to make sure that they were legitimate things. And I think once he got over that, I was fine.
I think really there was going to be a journey no matter what, mental, physical, a journey of every every facet, every possible, way. I mean, the fact that it was in China, I mean, if it was in Germany or Mexico or wherever, this is where they were doing it, and this is where not only were they doing it, but where I could actually see that there was results from it too. I've received both IV and spinals. Originally it was set up to receive 4 of each. We're actually adding another spinal, so I'll be receiving 4 IVs and 5 spinals by the time I'm done. Then I get the acupuncture, an electrowave therapy, and then facial massage also. Actually, it's funny because the first time they did the retest, when we showed up, they tested us on the eye chart outside. And actually, the same morning that they did that retest, we were Skyping with the children. And I noticed usually when I Skype with the kids or when I Skype with people, for me to see the screen, basically what they see is this. Because I have to get close enough to the screen where I can see them, so they can, basically see my top of my face. And that morning, I just happened to notice that I was sitting back further, and I thought, that's kind of interesting. And so as we were Skyping the kids, now a little bit later, we went outside to test on the eye chart, and it actually had shown some improvements, and that was after my first IV. So at that point, it had gone. I think I'd increased in my right eye about like 30 centimeters or something like that. But even then, it still didn't settle in. I still was thinking, maybe it was a lighting, or maybe I was just tired the first time I took it, or, I just kind of brushed it off. I told my brother, who's also the other one with optic nerve atrophy, so I mentioned it to him, but I kind of downplayed it and brushed it off. But then after I received my second injection, which was my first lumbar, we had gone out and did the testing out there again, and at that point I could see the big E from a full meter back, so about 3 feet back from where I first started. So at that point I went, okay, this isn't a lighting thing, this isn't a fluky thing, this is actual legitimate something's going on here. So, and then even since then I've gone, my right eye when I first showed up was about 216 centimeters back is where I could see the E, and I've gone up to about 405 centimeters, so it's nearly doubled since, which I couldn't, if I wrote down my best hopes and dreams, I wouldn't have put that, after my first and second injection, I'd be seeing that kind of reaction.
In Adam's case now, he can see the date on his watch. Never been able to see that before. He's reading things on his BlackBerry that he was never able to see before. Are they small things to you and me? Maybe to him, no. They're huge.
There's so much pop, to everything. Just as I walk through the common area, the sofas have those little white seam or whatever on the side. It just seems like all of a sudden now that just pops out at me. Just every little line or every definition is coming out all of a sudden. You
can't put a price tag on it. You can't. I mean, if it was twice as much money as it was, would we still fundraise? Probably. If people told us not to go, would we still come? Probably. I mean, there's really no reason not to try. I mean, it's either try this or sit at home and do nothing. So we're trying it.
I mean, if I'm able to go home and, either, whether it be a license, whether I can take out my kids to a baseball game or take them to get ice cream or even just see, my son playing basketball or something, shooting a basket. And, if I can see him make that basket, as I'm sitting in the stands, then it would be worth it.